Of course, that's different people giving their opinions regarding the population. And as you can see, like I said earlier, from the very first person I interviewed, they seem very, very stranded regarding this very aspect, simply because majority literally lack what to eat. They lack what they can give their families, and they're trying to urge the government to do more than just counting people. Of course, they should accompany it with quite another number of benefits to ensure that it's something that is very beneficial and influential to their living and being. And of course, like the gentlemen are saying, they lost their families during the COVID-19 pandemic, so they're asking themselves, so are they going to find us in the bars where we're sleeping? Are they walking on the streets? So they are really a little bit disgruntled. And of course, in 1950, Uganda had a population of about that's 5 million Ugandans, and if you to compare, that's 1950 and now back to 2022. Of course, the standing is at 45 million people Ugandans. And of course, I'm still getting in touch with some people to find out. Asebo jebaleko.
Kale na jebaleko sebo.
Kale sebo. Amanya.
Amanya nze kabuyara afa.
Jitambula obulamu buli butya.
Obulamu bubi nnyo. Bwenjogera sinalya nakulya. Nasoma ne mmala emirimu gyabula kati gavumenti badde ensabe zange bazinzirize.
Okay. Kale ensonga etuuse eyo. Kati lero tuli ku mulamwa gwa okubala abantu. Census gwo kitegeero kyanga gwo ate okyogerako ki?
Nze nga ndi wajje byokubala abantu nga sibimanyi.
Okubala abantu okumanya omuwendo gw'abantu abali mu nsi. Okumanya nti tugambe nti Uganda erimu abantu webati, mwaba abantu abavubuka bali mu gine bali mu webati, abakulu bali webati, ensonga ngeyo gyogerako ki?
Era ne batubala 0 batubala buli mwaka baze batubala. Era batubala bikomaawo. Tebalina sina wetufunira, tutulina wetufuniramu. Batubala ne bikomaawo. Kati awo nze obudde sibulina. Era ne banajjanga bagala kubala njabbaga amasibimanyi bye muŋŋamba. Wabula nze ndi wajjo kyenjagala batufunire ebyokukola. Tuli ero tudaaga. Bagala tubbe twasoma batudize sente zaffe. Fizi waffe tumwagala.
Ale mukama wange nyaza nnyo ensonga eyo.
Bagambe obo tusebe bagambe.
Okay, of course, you see how people are really disgruntled regarding the different government opportunities. Let me get in touch with someone here. Sebo jebaleko.
Jebaleko.
Sebo, amanya.
Amanya bampita bya Ruhanga John.
Bya Ruhanga John. Lero njogera ku nsonga yo kubala abantu. Go ekintu ekyo kitegeero otya ate olaba kya mugaso eri eggwanga.
Kya mugaso nnyo eri eggwanga kubanga buli luvannyuma lwa myaka 10 babeera babala abantu. Ate ne gavumenti bwebe na planning abantu eno okusooka nemanya abantu bameka weyongeddeko bameka kati ebyobulamu by'amalwaliro tukole bimeka bintu webi tukale kati ndaba nze kirungi nnyo okubala abantu kubanga we plan gye balina okugijjayo tuplaningira
andi kati nina abakama bange mbadde njogera nabo nga sina kutuukako nga bagamba nti batubaze emirundi mingi naye tebalina kye balabawo.
Oluusi tetumanyi naye nga kya mugaso nnyo okubanga balina okubaleera ne bwe tuba twagala balina bye bagenda okutukolera balina okusooka ne batubala ne bamanya tuli bameka ekyo oba tebakola be bamanyi oba ki naye ng'okubala kiri option tekyewalika buli luvannyuma lwa myaka 10 baba balina okutubala ekyo kiraba kirungi.
Ale sebo neyanziza nnyo endowooza eyo. Of course, different people giving different opinions regarding the population. What do they really think about the population? And the previous gentleman has been really so positive. I would love to say that I liked what he said regarding why the government need to count people, and that was a little bit positive. It sounded out from other people's opinions because majority were disgruntled, and of course everything, despite what's really taking place, there is an advantage to that, and there are particular reasons why certain things happen the way they happen. And of course, I still want to get like one more person, and I wind up this. Mkama wange jebaleko. Kale sebo amanya.
Amanya kakoza Godfrey.
Godfrey. Lero omulama gwe twogerako ensonga y'okubala abantu. Sebo. Gwe kintu ekyo okiraba otyanga golaba kya mugaso eri eggwanga.
Kyandibadde ky'omugaso naye tekyali kirugasa essaawa zino mbuuza lwaki.
Sebo.
Tuzze batubala ebbanga lyonna naye tetulabawo nkyukakyuka tulina nkyukakyuka gye tulabawo byonna bagamba tubyanadde bigenda mu maaso naye nga basose kumanya abantu ba wansi kye beetaaga kubanga emyaka omukulembeze jazaafuga gyonna kusinziira ffe twazaalibwa ndowooza ku mulembe gw'omukulembeze essaawa zino naye naffe ka tulina abazzukulu kitegeeza population nyingi ddala kisaana kunoonyeza abantu ba wansi either bakendeeza ku bintu byebakozesa basobole okuba bakola ki nga baba n'ebyokukola emulamwa gwange ogwo
maybe ekisembayo gwe mukulaba okuko olowooza lwaki abantu eggwanga lyaffe tweyongera obungi buli lukya kuba ekyo nakyo kinenge gye kireesedde okukosa ebyenfuna byaffe nti tuli batono eggwanga nga ttono naye abantu golooza ki ekireetera abantu okubanga beyongera olukunkumuli we batyo
ojja okyegendereza ennyo omuntu omwavu azaala nnyo olw'ensonga obudde abaana bungi obutali ku muntu alina ebyokukola so kitegeeza tetulina byakukola obudde obusina tubumalira mu bitatuzimba kale eno ebyokuzaala tumaliramu obudde obwo yego mulamwa gwange
kamange neyanziza nnyo endowooza eyo. All right, and that's so interesting. I've been discussing why do they think people Uganda has a very fast growing population, and of course you mentioned something that was so interesting regarding the poverty. When people are broke, they spend most of their time into activities which don't develop, and at the end of the day you find that it's inevitable to give birth, and that's why the birth rate is increasing. So imagine that if a country has people that are actually working class, where people are employed jobs, they are going to think less about being idle, and of course when they're less idle, everything is going to be about making money, and they're not going to give birth a lot. Like as I introduced earlier when I was introducing this particular topic, I say that the birth rate is at 40. Is estimated at about 40.0 that's percent regarding that thing, and the death rate is quite low. That's 5.02%, and the growth rate of the population of Uganda as standing at 2022 lies at 3.2%. So you can try to estimate those statistics and you sum it up. It best explains why Uganda's population currently stands at 45 million Ugandans. That's as of 2021 statistics. And of course, looking at this population, largely dominated by the youth, because we see about 34.6%. It's about the portion of the youth that they take up, and the elderly take up the percentage, and so many other groups. And of course, many of the reasons why this happens is because the census is to ensure that the government actually properly knows the number of people in the country, how many migrants. You know, we've been having cases whereby we have refugees coming into the country from other countries and they are hosted in here. So that also helps you to know that how many people you really have in this country, how many elderly people you have in the country, how many young people you have in the country. In that perspective, it's going to be very possible for you as a government to know what services to prioritize as you're implementing basing on the group of people, and also to plan for the country for the next 10 years, because every 10 years there is always an increase in the population of the individuals in the country. And that's it we had for you. Smart means business on ground, just right here in Kasubi, discussing the population census, what the common man thinks about the census. Andrew Barije, back to studio with Jerome Paul Sonko.
See how angry sometimes Ugandans can be. The matter has to do with population census. Someone again briefly brings you into how they are not living a good life, or maybe because the economy is greatly affecting them. So there are quite many things and in that space. But briefly, that is it for the Smb On Ground today, and bringing us to the end of our Smart Means Business today, Thursday, 15th of September 2022. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at Jerome Paul Sonko, and then you can follow Smart Smart24TV on Twitter at Smart24TV, Instagram at Smart24_TV. The website is www.smart24.tv, and our YouTube channel is Smart24TV and Smart24TV Live for more of the programs and interviews that you might have missed. So please do endeavor to visit us and discuss more business on our socials wherever you are. Till tomorrow, have a blessed day. Good morning.
The regulation. Time is now, we need the regulation. I've been channeling out real estate students since 2011. They graduate, each year we graduate 50, 100, 200, but they come to a field which is not leveled, where others are professionally doing the work, others are not professionally doing the work. So it is time for government to regulate the industry. Can we have some rules of the game in the real estate industry, the do's and the don'ts, and then we will have a better industry. Like I said, this industry, the real estate sector, contributes 7.5 per annum of the annual GDP, the national GDP. Apart from that, it is the second employer in the whole country after agriculture. So we need to organize the industry. We now have evidence. Let us put the rules of the game. Let us have the Real Estate Agents Act. The challenges the country is facing because of having an unregulated industry, we actually shared them in our report. We have things like commission. Agents charge double fees, double commission. We call it double commission. But you know, it's not only the agents who are charging double commission. Even the clients, the people buying the properties, are not paying this commission. So what do the agents do? They hike the property prices. A property that is supposed to be 100 million, they'll charge 150 because they're getting their margin of 50 million for the work they have done. Apart from commission, there's so many unethical issues that have been there. Multiple sales, we have brokers getting involved in multiple sales, LCs getting involved in multiple sales. We have land wrangles which are on all the time. These unethical issues lead to loss of money. They affect the economic development of the country. The unethical issues have chased away the foreign direct investment, you know. So we need to address them if we are to see Uganda moving forward. We need them.
We've seen research from Gulu, Mbale and Barara, and it's showing us the challenges that agents are going through in this country, where we find that many sellers or clients are not willing to pay commissions and agency fees, and yet there's a service provided. And also when you look at the professionalism that is needed, you find that this research has highlighted the many issues in terms of regulation that need to be taken up by government. That's why we are looking forward to the real estate bill to be passed, because it will put most of these things into context. How much commission should be charged? Who is responsible for paying commission? Is it the vendor or the purchaser? So many of those regulations will help us to streamline this industry of real estate, and moving forward we shall have an organized sector, because as you've seen, the real estate sector contributes about more than 7% of the country's GDP, and therefore we should put more focus there, and agents are major players in this sector, and therefore they should be regulated and professionalized in what they do. The main unethical issues have been the double dealing. You find that the agent asks for commission from both the seller and the buyer. I think that has been a major unethical issue. And then the lack of professionalism by many agents, to find that you're selling a property that is already sold, and then you don't have all the details of the property you're talking about. Those are the kind of unethical things that we've seen come up from the agents, and we agree that they are happening on the market. That's why we are pushing for a proper regulation through the real estate bill.